2,
two, 1. T-minus liftoff and counting. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today we are going to go on about a film from 2015 presented to us this week by our good friend Kroll here. So thank you. I guess we are beginning to celebrate the holidays with a title called
beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
As I said, it was from 2015. It's directed by Jonathan Levine, and it stars, I believe, Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt from Third Rock from the Sun, and Gillian Bell, Lizzie Kaplan, Anthony Mackie, and I do have to mention Michael Shannon because I love everything that he's in. Yeah. So let's see what IMDb says about the film, and then we'll go into our first impressions of the feature. So on Christmas Eve, 3 lifelong friends spend the night in New York City looking for the holy grail of Christmas parties. So, because this was your pick, Kroll, why don't you tell us, was this a first time watch for you?
It was.
And what were your thoughts on it?
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Pretty much everything you want to happen happens. Lots of hijinks in between the story. Of course, it's not a love story, aren't they all? But it's a love story. It's a friend story. It's a fun story. Yeah. So our main character, he lost his parents, and they were killed by a drunk driver in a car crash, and he was completely depressed. He didn't want to go anywhere, and his friends came over and got him to go out and said, Christmas was usually about family, but now it's about friends, and they're gonna be his family, and so every year they decided to get together and celebrate Christmas. How about you, Boris? First time watch?
Yeah, it was the first time, and although this may not be the type of movie I would regularly choose to watch, but it was fun. Sorry, I just had a glitch. Did you hear what I just said?
No. Go ahead and repeat it.
What was the last thing you heard?
It's not the type of movie you like, but you watch, but you liked it.
Oh, yeah. Eventually, I did enjoy it after all, even though it's not the type of movie I would regularly choose to watch. I really started to have fun with it during the church scene. You know which one. So yeah, in the end, it was fun, and it ended well, as you have already said. So yeah, that would be my first impressions.
Nice. Tammy?
Yeah, it was fun. You know, it was neat that they all stuck together and made this like a tradition every year because they were such good friends. And
Was this the first time watch?
Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't. I've seen it before.
Oh.
but because I've seen it before, it was fun to watch it again. You know, and their hijinks and everything were it was very comical. So I don't want to get into anything too much yet because we're just doing the first impressions. So I don't want to say things yet. But it was, yeah, it was quite enjoyable. I thought it was fun.
All right.
Didn't mind watching it again.
And what about you, Dave?
I had actually gotten an opportunity to see this on a screener 3 days before it actually came out in the actual theaters for others. Uh,
Wow.
so I was not sure what I was going to see once I went into it because it was kind of like a flyby screener, at least for those of us who have been to screenings and gotten screeners or whatnot before. But I think I won it off of another site that was offering it for free, and I got the opportunity to see it. Um, One thing that I have often noticed in when I've gone to screenings, supposedly, there's supposed to be a critic, you know, seating area. Well, it was between me and two other critics that were sitting there, and there were no other important people there. So
Ooh.
that's pretty sad. But that's because most of the important critics, like uh, they get sent screeners, uh, like at their homes. They don't even go to theaters anymore. It's kind of sad. There's a specific seating area, but anyways, that's a
Di-
whole other can of worms.
Didn't that
But
make you more important?
well, when you're at a screener that is technically normally for like the critic public, and you're like bottom rung reviewer, and you see that these people don't even show up, that's kind of sad. But
Oh.
anyways, I saw the film, and when it came to DVD, I got it and brought it home, and we watched it. And I like the performances in here. I mean, it's a little bit like It's a Wonderful Life meets like A Christmas Carol, except like done on Dro or something like that, you know? uh, so Seth Rogen, he's known to be a comedian. I like most of the things he's done. Um, there might be one in particular that I did not entirely enjoy, but I enjoy everything that he's
All
done.
this stuff is good.
Uh, Pineapple Express sucked, but I won't even go there. But in any case, everything else after that, I've enjoyed, and I enjoy him um, as a comedian, and I thought he brought it to the best of his ability. So I enjoy his performance. Enjoyed Joseph Levitt's performance, especially. I think this is like way after his Robin portrayal on The Dark Knight and all that jazz. So I
Ooh.
believe that was him, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's come a long way. Joseph Levitt, he's
Yeah.
come a long way away from being a child star. So,
Yeah. He's one of the few that was able to keep going and not let it go to their head and shit.
how did you guys enjoy his version of Elf?
I love this. I love this elf smile. But
Uh,
the best part of him being an elf when he saw the tickets and grabbed them and ran. Fuck that rich douchebag.
uh, yeah, that's not a very elf-like thing to do.
I thought it was interesting the way the film used uh, weed as a form of, the ghosts of Christmas, present, past, and future. You know, Uh,
Right.
that being said, I enjoyed the film. I enjoy watching this film, and I think it's kind of become a film that I've started to watch, I guess, every year at least once, maybe. Actually, I don't think I've seen this. I think I've seen this is my like fourth time watching it. So
Oh, so this is your Home Alone.
no, not exactly. Home Alone was awesome. I mean, you can't knock Home Alone. Home Alone, at least the first one, is a classic. The second one is classic too, because I remember creating another line to "Found a Peanut" from that one. So,
Uh, sorry, what do you mean about the peanut?
there is a song called "Found a Peanut." Um, I don't know if any of you have heard of it before.
The title doesn't ring a bell. Maybe if I heard the song, maybe I'd recognize it, but by the
Found a
title, no, I
peanut,
don't.
found a peanut, found a peanut just now, just now. I found a peanut just now. I cracked it open just now. Point being, it is a song that you can build on and extend as long as you like and annoy the fuck out of people when you sing it. And if you've ever grown up with a sister or anything like that, and you've gone on long car trips, it's a cool, fun song to annoy the parents with. But anyway,
And
Or annoy,
what does that
annoy your
song?
significant other too.
but there was a lyric because of the second Home Alone movie uh, that we added the line found got a hot foot, got a hot foot, got a hot foot just now, and it was later on in the song. But that being said, moving on, I think we're now into the plot. So, Crow, were you interested in telling us a little bit of the plot, or did you want me to go into it?
Crawl, hoot hoot.
I guess I'll go into the plot then.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I guess he's going to be coming back in a moment. But yeah, that was a song that like it started out with like lyrics and like specific lyrics,
Yes.
and we just added to it. My
Sorry,
sister,
but I went to unmute myself and it went to freaking work. I had to bounce out and come back.
not a problem.
Yeah, well, I saw it and say, like,
I thought David scared you away with that song.
he did, but that's not the point. Yeah. Oh, I said the basic premise. His parents died, so they started celebrating together. Their biggest thing was they wanted to go to this special Christmas party,
Called the Nutcracker Ball.
the Nutcracker Ball, and everyone says it's amazing, and they spent years and could never find it. And then he's working as an elf in serving hors d'oeuvres, and then he had to got pushed over to chicken coats. Hold on a second. Sorry, I had a little 4-year-old kept calling my name. Jasmine, stop. Anyways, yeah, he found in the coat, and this douchebag like, can't put my coat, it's super expensive, and he just tosses it on the floor, and he looks, and he sees 3 red tickets, and he picks them up and looks, and there they are, the tickets for the party that they've been searching all these years for. And I mean, this is gonna be the last hurrah, the last Christmas together, because one is married, having a kid. the other one's too busy with work, and so this is going to be the last hurrah. And they finally found the tickets to the big party.
And Seth Rogen's wife, I got to give credit to her. She is like the best wife that you could ever hope for to have. I mean, she puts up with a lot of shit.
Well, she gave him all the drugs.
I know, but
It was
what wife in this
when she
world would just
tried to
give
get
her
him,
husband a whole lot of Quaaludes, you know?
when she's trying to get him rid of him in front of the church, and she's like, "Go away, go, run away, go that way, go."
yeah, that's what I thought too. That
It was hilarious because she knew he was all fucked. He's Jewish. They're in front of a church, like, and then they invite him in, and he's like, "Sure," like, like, wow. Why would you invite a Jewish guy into a church, Christian church? It's just like, wow. And he goes, he's all fucked up and doesn't know any better.
if that's a problem, then what about Satanist going to the church?
Well, before we get into that, I think we do need to get into some of the characters. Well, apparently, this is actually a story being told by someone in Santa's workshop, I'm assuming. Because we get this whole.
I don't know. I mean, the ending kind of makes you think that maybe he was an angel too, because we had Mr. Green there, who we end up finding out is an angel. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting movie because it makes
I know you have
you
a
think one thing,
angel who throws
it
parties.
it makes you think one thing, and then it deals with some concepts like that have been in Christmas movies since like the dawn of time, So
Yeah.
but yeah, there. Oh, what was his name in here? Their friend Anthony Mackie. His name is Chris in here. He is evidently some kind of celebrity.
Of course, we know him as the Falcon.
And he's like some like beatbox rapper guy, and he wants to impress this dude that he calls like the Messiah.
The Messiah, the white Messiah. He's a football player, and he asked him to get him some weed, and he's like, yeah, I can get you weed. And so they call Mr. Green, and they go to the school, and he goes and sits with him. And
yeah, he shows up in this crappy ass looking jalopy.
Yeah, he sits down in the car with him and just gets completely creeped out. Completely creeped out by him, and he's like, this weed is called Christmas present. And he's like, isn't all weed Christmas present? Only on Christmas Day, my friend. So anyways, he says he's an athlete. He doesn't smoke, but he's like, you gotta try it. You buy it with someone else, you gotta try a little. So he smokes a little, and then basically gets out and.
He tells him he'll tell Isaac that he'll see him later.
Yeah. What are you saying? Tell Isaac I said I'll see him later. Like he knew. I forgot about that part. That's right. He did see him later too. That's right. I forgot about that. And then they went to a club, and they were first they went to a store, and they were dancing on a piano on the floor.
Yeah, and at first I thought they were going to break out like that. If you've ever seen the movie Big,
yeah, I love Big.
They play on this big giant piano.
Yeah, but instead of singing a song, they start rapping, which I'm not a fan of, but it was pretty fun. Anyways, the way they did it, and of course then they went to the club, and he runs Gordon Levitt runs into his ex-girlfriend, who's there.
Which
and of course
apparently
he wants to get back with her. He fucked up because she's like, come meet my parents and live together and blah blah no stuff. And he's like, oh, excuses, And so she dumps him, which well, it happens because she wants to move forward and he wants to stay still. You know, typical typical thing. And excuse me. Anyway, so she still talks to him and they're talking and then and of course we have um Seth Rogen's character. He ended up going to the bathroom and he does coke and from his little box of drugs that his wife bought him, and he comes out and he gets a drink for his coworker, and he's bleeding and he bleeds a drop of blood
Oh,
into her martini, and she takes a sip of it. She's like, it's kind of coppery tasting. He's like, yeah, here's the vodka or something, and she looks she's like, you're bleeding. Your nose is bleeding. And then he's like, oh, it is? Oh, I couldn't even feel it. And then she's like, oh my God, did you bleed my drink? He's like, I don't think so. He's like, oh, you did. You threw in my drink. Oh my God. And she like tossed the drink down and she grabbed her phone and just ran out. And he's like, well, fuck you. And she's like, no, fuck you. And he's like, well, fuck you. And he's like, well, fuck you. Back and forth. Um, and then
that's a lot
In
of
the
plot.
then of
meantime, what's
course
his name is in the bathroom getting it on.
now the black guy, yeah, he goes out and he meets this girl and she's like, I'm a Grinch, I can't stand Christmas and all, but I love you, and even though you're wearing that sweater, it makes me I'll still love you. He's like, really? He's like, I'm kind of a bad boy, so I should teach you a Christmas lesson. He's like, all right. And then of course you see them banging in the bathroom and then he gets done and they move on their way and he finds out, oh, bitch stole his weed. No, he has no weed. So they contact Mr. Green and they go his mother in front of his mother's house because they don't want to go back to the school. And they're all cold and he's going to be a while. So they go inside where he had told his mother that he wasn't in town. So they're trying to be quiet to not wake her up. And then, of course, he's like, I'm not going back in that car again. That guy freaks me out. So then Seth Rogen's character, he says he'll go, and of course he's all fucked up, and he goes down to the car, and you know he has this trippy out experience of his daughter being a stripper 18 years later because he fucked up being a dad. Um,
Well, in that story, the mother kind of fucked up too. She was encouraging her to.
oh yeah, it was funny. And he's like, all right, give me $100 to get the hell out. And he just throws the money and he goes back to the house and all of a sudden he hears, come on, baby, hit me one more time. He's like, what the fuck is this? It's not his ringtone and shit. He's like trying to shut it off and ends up waking up the mother and he's like, oh, we're here, we're surprised. Trying to fake it up like it was a plan and she ends up cooking them food and they don't really eat it and then she puts it away and has them drop it off at the shelter for the homeless people and of course Mackie the whole time he's like, oh, we're giving a charity and it's not giving a charity unless you tell people, which is actually the opposite of what charity is, but good deeds, that's what he is said. But yeah, his whole thing where everything was promotional. He was always talking about Red Bull. That's the limousine they were riding around in, which is a pretty fucking awesome limousine. But then he sees the chick that stole his weed, and so he goes to confront her, and she's all like, I kind of like you, and blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, but I go after my favorite people, Hans I can't think of his name from Die Hard, and a couple other people like Sticky Fingers, and she has the glove, and she steals this other thing of weed, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he goes to chase her. She drops these little toy things, and he just flies up there and falls down, kind of like a Home Alone moment right there. And then he gets back into the limousine. He's like, "Follow that girl! She stole my weed." And the driver's like, "That bitch, I'll kill her. They're flying down, chasing her, and then they're like, run the light, run the light. He goes to run the light, and of course, the big fucking truck, bam, smashes into the limo, so it's out of commission. Then they're like, we can still make it. We can get on the fucking Santa sled. And they got on the sled, and somehow it starts fucking moving. And Seth Rogen is like holding on to
That was
something, and
funny
he's like
as
being dragged to the streets, and being dragged to the fucking streets, and then Mackie he ends up getting wanting to do something business or something related. So he goes off in another direction, and that leaves our main character by himself, and he sees two Santa Clauses drunk, and they're all pissing on the ground and talking about this and being drunk, and he starts yelling at them that being a Santa Claus is a sacred duty, and that they're disgracing the Santa Claus outfit, and they're like, Santa Claus isn't real, it's just an outfit, and blah blah blah. And
oh,
they
you
go
look
up,
like one of my angry
and
elves.
yeah, he's like, don't call me an elf. He's like, yeah, you're an elf, and he sucker punches one of the Santas, and the other one grabs him, hits him, and holds him. He's like, I don't want to hurt you, and the other guy gets back up. He's like, I do. Fucking sucker punches him in the eye, gives him a black eye, and he finally meets up with his friends, and like,
I'm
what
a
happened to you?
surgeon.
He's like, two Santa Claus beat me up. And he's like, like, what happened? Well, did they steal your money? Did they steal the tickets? No, no, no. So they just beat you up for no reason? Yeah, because you guys left me. Oh, well, blaming them, didn't mention the fact that, he started it. And so they're on the train, and of course, then he starts blowing up at Mackey's character for, you know, being the guy that he used to hate, being this rich pompous asshole and blah blah, blah, and he's like, there's no way. Most people are retiring at this age, and all of a sudden you're doing good. He's like, you're shooting up, sticking a needle in your ass, which we saw him do. I thought at first he was diabetic or something. It turns out it was steroids, and he admits it. Fine, I'm on steroids, blah blah blah. And he's like, everybody does, man. And then of course he starts blowing back up at him, saying, how he has, he doesn't have a good job. He's fucking wasted his life. He lost his girlfriend, blah blah blah, and basically they blow up at each other, and they're both trying to get the other one involved, Rogan's character, and he's just trying to chill out. He's like, "You're ruining my high, man."
Well, yeah,
He's
he
on mushrooms now too, and coke, and a little bit of weed.
yeah,
He's really fucked up.
he ends up having a nosebleed, which goes into her friend's drink. And
Dude, I already said that like 15 minutes ago. Where were you?
what I'm saying is that kind of switches their phones around.
Oh,
Yes, I know. I
cool
just didn't say
down.
the phone part yet, because I did say the phone part. Actually, I said that it was playing Hit Me One More Time, and he didn't know what the fuck it was because it wasn't his ringtone, because the phones had gotten switched. Yes.
And then, of course, he then does have like a conversation with a nativity scene.
Yes, but
Oh,
also before that, he gets a text, and this guy Frank is showing his penis, and
James.
he's like, "You want it?" He's like, "Yeah, who would want his dick like that?" He's like, "You want to suck it?" No, I don't want to suck it. I never sucked a dick. He's like, "You never sucked a dick. We're gonna suck a dick tonight." He's like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna suck this guy's dick." And all the guy says his name was James. That's what it was. And of course, then we go to another club, and then he finds, oh no, oh yeah, I'm sorry, he went to the church before the train. He went to the church, and he ended up talking to the nativity scene, and talking to the wise man, trying to get him to show him how to use the app on his phone.
Oh, yes. Speaking of which,
And
sorry. Yes.
then he runs into his wife, and his wife's trying to get him to leave because her sister's there. It's his wife, and she doesn't know it's gonna be bad because he's all fucked up. And then they show up. because he doesn't fucking leave. And they're like, "Oh, why don't you come in?" And he's like, "Well," and she's like, "No, he's there with his friends." And he's like, "Well, I kind of lost him right now." And they're like, "Oh, come sit with us." And he's like, "Oh, all right." And they're not going in. She turns around like, "How fucked up are you?" And he's like, "Pretty fucked up." You could tell. She's like, "Oh my God, it's going to be horrible." So they're sitting in the church, and he starts to sing Hallelujah. She's like, "It's not that kind of church." And then he's like, he shouts out something else. He's like, "No, it's not that kind of church either." And he goes, he doesn't know what to say, because he's used to, the Jewish temples and shit. So, then he sees this baby, and the baby looking at him. And all of a sudden, the baby's like, "Fuck you." he's like, he's like, he starts. So then he hisses at the baby. He's like, "Are you hissing at the baby?" And then he just ends up having this like argument with the baby. Then all of a sudden he starts to throw up, and she's like, "Hold that shit in, hold that in. Swallow it like a girl." His wife says. And he does, but then he starts to open his mouth. He's like, "Oh!" He finally just gets out of the pews. He's running. He's like, "Don't you dare throw up in the air!" And all of a sudden, blah, he throws up in the thing. And of course, he's wearing a Jewish sweater. And so he just turns around. He's like, "Ah!" Holds his hands up, and he just runs out like he was this Jewish guy fucking with him on Christmas, whatever. And
And
of course,
I think when he threw up, he also said, "Jesus fucking
he
Christ."
did. He said, "Jesus, fuck me."
Oh yeah,
That's what
that
he said.
too.
He said, "Jesus, fuck me." And so he runs out of
This kid's
there, and
fucking with me.
yeah. Then they ended up because what he saw, he also when he was doing the coke, he realized that he was freaked out about the kid. He's like, "We shouldn't be." He puts it on the phone. He's like, "For future self, we shouldn't be having this kid. Fuck this kid. We should kill this kid, or we should leave it in a dumpster. Fucking cunt." Well, which will come in funny later. Um, so then they finally get to the big party, and they go to this like like a little grocery store. They're kind of confused, like, the hell. They go up to the cashier. They're like, "We got this tickets," and he shows them the tickets. And he looks at them, and he's like, "All right, follow me." And they're like, "Okay, what the fuck?" Then they go in. They open up this freezer, and he tells them to go in, shut the door. Then another door opens up, and there's all kinds of lights, and there's a conductor there, and he's like, "Tickets, please," and shows them the tickets, and
And they
uh,
get in this
he
tiny
gets on this little train that brings him into the actual party, which I thought was fucking badass. Of course, his ex is already there, and the friend from work is already there, and
Miley Cyrus.
he wants to go find his phone, and Mackie wants to go find his football messiah friend, who completely forgot he asked him to get weed and had it on. And then of course we have Levitt. He's looking for his girlfriend ends up finding Miley Cyrus, who his ex-girlfriend absolutely fucking loves and doesn't talk about anything else and just talks about her so much and about wrecking ball and everything. And he's like, "I'm trying to find my girl because I want, I gotta get her back, and I want," because he's gonna say, he's gonna say move in or whatever. He's like, "You gotta propose. You gotta propose to her. Big or go home." So I mean, that was all her idea, completely her idea. you know. And of course, she's like, he's like, "You gonna help me?" And she goes up on stage, starts singing the wrecking ball, and he starts singing with her, and he's like, "I don't know the words," but he's like, he ends up proposing to her, and everyone's looking at her, so she's like, "Yes," and he like gets down from the stage, and she's like, "No, I'm not gonna marry you." I said yes because everyone's looking at me, and everyone wanted me to say yes, even Molly. And like, I didn't want to be that girl, But he's like, he's sorry that he put her on the spot, and he just realized that he lost her and he wanted her back, uh, and of course, Mackey's character, he ends up realizing that the football player is kind of a douche, and his friends are fucking douche, and they're all saying that he's whiter than white. He's a black guy because of the song he was singing and shit with the other two guys and the sweaters, and you know, and then Rogan finally they end up switching their phones back, and she's like, "You didn't look at my phone and my details, no, and you didn't look at mine, did you? No." And then she's like,
Uh,
and then he says something about about James'
uh,
penis, and then
oh,
he's like, "It's huge," and she's
uh,
like, "You think I can handle it?" And he's like, "I don't know, I think Barley could." And all of a sudden, James Franco shows up, and he's the James. And then he's like, evidently in this movie, he's bisexual. Like in another, he was gay. It was it's pretty funny
uh,
because he wants to get with Seth Rogen and her at the same time, and she's just like trying to tell him like, get fucking lost. Like he's mine. I want him to myself. Like you're a third wheel. And James is all trying to feel his beard up and shit. And I don't think you even realize what the fuck is going on. Because he's so fucked up.
uh, Sorry, there is something I wanted to ask about the phone switching thing.
So
Um,
what?
when Earlier, when Isaac was hallucinating that the statues from the nativity scene were talking to him, and
Yeah,
he he asked this one statue to help him with the app,
yeah.
and then he held that stick or
The
whatever
cane.
the cane, yeah. I thought that he had left his phone with the statue in that moment, or the girl's
That
phone.
was well, it wasn't his phone; it was her phone. But he must have
Yeah,
grabbed it.
yeah,
He must have
her
grabbed it
phone.
back. We just didn't. They just didn't show him grabbing it
Uh,
back.
yeah, so until then, I thought he had forgotten the phone
Yeah, I
on the
did too at first,
statue,
and then I
and
forgot that he had left it. And, yeah,
yeah, then I was like, how does he suddenly have it again?
yeah, he must have
Uh,
grabbed it back. We just didn't see it.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess.
So, all right. So the club scene is over. It's Christmas, and um, they they all go to Christmas dinner, and uh, Elk Boy is playing the piano and stuff, and he ends up going to his ex's house first. Oh yeah, and and she's at her parents' house, of course. And big thing is he never wanted to meet her parents, and he knocks and she's like, "You're not going to propose again, are you?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Just come over here and talk, and then I'll leave you alone." And he just basically lets out his heart that he loves her and he wants to be with her. They don't need to get married, but he's she's her family, and and basically he's talking about having kids now, which she's like, that's kind of a step in the other direction, even worse. But he's like, well, pretend I said it right. Yeah, he's just saying, I want you to be my family. And then he's like, can I come in? And she's like, in here. My parents are in here. He's like, you don't do parents. Well, I'll do your parents. Oh, you'll do my parents. He's
On
like,
that was
well, don't do my dad doggy style. He's getting old or something. And then of course, then they kiss. He's like, well, I ain't going to kiss you after just saying I'll do your parents, but yeah.
that that was
And then
hilarious.
they're like 1 year later, and they're all at the Christmas together, and he's with Janine, and the black guy's with his mother for some reason, and he's with the wife, and you don't see the baby, but you assume the baby's there because it's a year later. Um, and it's like a happily ever after. Oh, and at some point we see we also saw that Mr. Green is the one that does the party. Mr. Green was the one that does the big party that they're trying to get to. He said he just started out small because he saw the Great Gatsby. He thought what a great idea that someone unknown just threw these parties, and so they started doing it, and they got bigger and bigger every year. And then of course he leaves the car for them to get into, so they can get home and stuff. And then you see him. Oh, I finally earned these, and he has wings, and he flies up to heaven because he was an angel, a drug dealing angel.
That was good.
That's the best. So that's the plot. I kind of said it fast. I probably missed a little bit here and there, but that was everything. You guys have anything to add to the story or to the characters?
Uh, uh, well, I did find some scenes really funny, like I said, especially when Isaac threw up at the church and all the shit he said and did there.
Yeah, that was
And
funny.
yeah, and the whole thing with the phone. And when they were trying not to wake Chris's mother up, but then she did wake up, and they had to stay over there and eat. Uh, uh, what else? Oh yeah, how he fell 3 times for the tricks the girl stealing weed from him was doing, and then how much effort he went through for that weed, only for the guy at the party to say he has as much weed as they need, and
Yeah, he
wasn't
has a
even.
ton. Like he doesn't even need. He forgot that. He forgot to even ask him.
Uh, yeah, and when the moment when Isaac accidentally got him stuck with one hand to the wall, and then they said a Jew did crucify the Messiah after all.
Oh yeah. That was funny. And that's when they were gonna beat him up, or whatever. And the black guy runs in, and Mackie runs in with a phone. And he's like, I'm sure I'll put this on all my people and everyone here listens to me. Go ahead, punch him. You'll be all over social media. So of course the guy doesn't punch him and stuff. So he saves his ass.
Yeah.
How about you, Tammy? Got anything to say about the movie characters?
Yeah, I still can't believe, that his wife bought him all of those drugs.
Right.
That was just a trip. You
Yeah,
know,
literally.
I would never do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, taking all those drugs, pretty bad. I mean, I get why she did, but probably would have been safer if she just bought him some weed.
Yeah, just buy one thing and here, go have fun with it. Not a
Yeah,
whole smorgasbord type of thing.
yeah,
But I got a kick out of Mr. Green, kind
yeah,
of like what David said. When when they each smoke some around Mr. Green, he makes them see things,
yeah. It's like it's a
and
wonderful light type thing. Yeah,
it is almost like the Christmas thing, because they each reflect on something when they smoke something with him,
yeah.
and
Past, present, future. Yeah,
which I think is kind of cool.
yeah,
So
Yeah, and it is a bit like It's a Wonderful Life when that guy becomes an angel at the end.
yeah. Well, so wasn't with the singing too. It was kind of like Christmas Carol and It's a Wonderful Life rolled up into one with Mr. Green.
yeah, he had it was a unique way of making them reflect on their lives and on each other by sitting there and smoking something with them.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was,
And of course, each person just was like uncomfortable. And he's like, being uncomfortable can be a good thing sometimes. They each had their moment with him, and you know, they all felt that being uncomfortable around him.
I totally forgot, even though I've seen it before, that in the end that he is the one that's putting on the
Oh, the party.
parties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he even invited them.
Which is a
He's like,
callback to F. Scott
the Great
Fitzgerald, The Great
Gatsby.
Gatsby.
Yeah, he says that. He actually said he read The Great Gatsby, and that's where he got the idea to do it. So they even give credit to that. And I guess you must be done playing your games. So what's your opinions on the movie there, Davey?
I think that the film is an interesting one because it brings, it brings some current stuff along with some like
Oh,
historical shit. I
yeah,
mean, I mean, you've got the drugs that are involved, which is the current modern day society. Everybody seems to be on.
maybe not the coke.
But you got the references to like the Great Gatsby. You've got the send offs to like It's a Wonderful Life
Seen a
and
Christmas Carol,
Christmas Carol and
big.
Big. These are some classics. I mean,
Yeah,
was a movie made by fans of that of
Christmas
some
movie.
um very cool send offs and making it into a Christmas movie. I mean, I thought it was very cool to
Yeah,
have a movie a, kind of referencing all these interesting aspects of you know some of the
yeah.
great
Without stealing anything from them, but loosely letting you know it's about them, but it's not.
yeah.
Yeah, they did a great job. Um,
Yeah, it was very interesting how they did it all.
And I think
Like,
when they kind of nonchalantly gave him wings, and he was like, "Oh, I guess I finally get these, huh?" You know,
finally earned these.
just
Yeah,
fuck them.
the wigs somewhat reminded me of the Lucifer show. They were kind of like those.
Yeah, they did look a lot like those. I agree.
But yeah, this wouldn't have been a movie without Michael Shannon in there as that role as Mr. Green. So
Definitely.
Uh, yeah. Didn't he also play Zod in The Man of Steel?
Yes.
yes.
Interesting.
Well, it would be interesting if they actually came back with him as Zod. To be honest, but
Well, not likely. Zod died, and then got turned into Doomsday.
but in any case,
But from what I've read, it looks like Henry Cavill is back as Superman, though.
ah,
Thank goodness.
alrighty. Well, I think we're at production, right?
Yep.
So, what did you think about production, Crow?
That was great. I mean, nothing needed to be too elaborate. I mean, the Christmas party was pretty kick-ass. That was a great production. The Christmas tree, the nativity scene, everything else was pretty average, but it was good. I mean, everything looked like New York City. It looked like everything looked like it the way it should. The clubs and the stores and everything and the people. I think the production was great. Definitely A plus.
Okay. What about you, Tammy?
I thought it was good. I mean, nothing seemed overly done or anything like that. It seemed like it was for real, you know, which which made it more fun to watch. Like, okay, they really this, you know, he really could have punched this guy out, or he really could have, sat
Yeah.
in the car
Best
and smoked some with Mr. Green, or you know what I mean.
best
Nothing
looking backdoor party though, eh?
Oh yeah.
right. I mean, it that was the only thing that was maybe like a little bit elaborate, like getting to the party. But other
It
than
was a
that,
little over the
everything.
top, but it built it up because it had been built up to be such the biggest party in the world. So the way they introduced it was pretty fucking cool. Like it was hidden, like you wouldn't know there was a party back there because you got to go through a store. And then the guy's gonna let you in if you got the tickets and stuff. So, it added to the story of it. of why they could never find the party or why they could never do
And I
it
thought
in.
it was sad that when Chris was invited to the party, he was like, "No, man, that's cool. We got a
Yeah.
part of our own that we're going to." It was like, "Hey, that's cool, man." You know,
I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt or nothing.
Yeah, so like I said I think things were, down. It was basically down to earth. It wasn't, you know, anything like, except for, like I said, that entrance for the party. Other than that, everything seemed like it could really be, it could really happen.
Oh, yeah, it just could have happened too. It's just a little more out there.
what about you, Boris? What did you think about the production values?
I also think the production was good. We have already mentioned the party, of course. That was where the special effects were the best, especially the entrance, as we have already mentioned, and also the effects when the characters were hallucinating when Mr. Green would give them some weed, and then Isaac hallucinating the nativity scene, talking to him, and so on. And I also really liked the moment with Mr. Green's wings. But yeah, I have already mentioned that. That was also pretty well done. Ooh, what else?
I forgot something too. The hospital scene where he thinks his wife is going into labor, and he gets there, and he's talking to her, and he tells her about, shows her the video he made, and she just laughs, and he's like, "You're laughing?" He's like, "Yeah, means you're normal. I'm not the only one. Now I'll be your Rock." And he's like, "You're the Rock Johnson, Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Like, I'm gonna sleep with the Rock tonight." And then he's like, "Okay, Dragon Betsy." You just call me Dragon Betsy? Yes, because you're a dragon. I'm still a little
Oh,
high and you're a dragon. And he
oh,
shows her and she's like, "Oh, we're scary." He's like, "Yeah, kinda." And she's all laughing and with his dragon face. It's fucking hilarious. I forgot
Yeah.
to mention that part.
yeah, we forgot that.
And what about you, Dave? What do you think about the production?
I thought production was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't elaborate, but where the moments of CGI that you see, like when
The
the
dragon.
baby is making faces, the dragon, the angel wings. I mean, and I'm sure a little bit was done to show you their entrance into the party just a little bit, because that engineer there being the only one around, and them getting into that tiny ass uh, children's engine to arrive to the party. That was that was pretty dope. But um, yeah, I thought the production was pretty darn good for this movie, and I think this was exactly the kind of movie that you know it was meant to be, and it's got some underlying messages mixed with some things that we already know.
Yeah, like don't do a ton of drugs together.
So, yeah, I thought the production was pretty spiffy, and I'm not sure that they could have done much else on it, and I think it was a nice touch. So,
Yeah, I think they did a good job.
but I think now we're on music. So, what did y'all think about the music?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it's not normally my type of music, but I enjoyed it. It was well done, and it fit the spirit of the movie.
Yeah, let's see. It's got The Creator, which was performed by Pete Rock and CL Smooth. All Alone on Christmas, performed by Darlene Love. Up on the Housetop, performed by John Swanson. 12 Days of Christmas, which was arranged by Frederick Austin. Deck the Halls, performed by Ron Comey. Get Down, which was performed by Pillow Fight. Runaway, which was performed by Yee, featuring Pusha T. Christmas in Hollis. Dancing All Night by performed by Nate James. Let's Talk About Sex. Christmas Lights, performed by Daniel Hudson. Check Yourself,
Sex.
which was written by Ice Cube. All Around the World, Let's Keep Dancing, performed by G Daydream. Father Figure, Get That Money, performed by Blake Haas. Baby One More Time by Britney Spears.
Hit me, baby.
I
one more
forgot that
time.
was in there.
That was on the phone, dude.
Yeah, I know.
When it was, if you were listening when I was going through the story, that it was said that it was playing.
Yeah. You Like This by Emily, now performed by Best Nectar, featuring Rai Rai. We Are Alive by Tara Vita. There's a lot of fucking music on this.
Wrecking Ball, Miley
Wrecking
Cyrus.
Ball,
Call her. Don't call her
Vocally,
Miley Cyrus.
We Are
Call her Hannah.
Light Up, Sentimental Body, Loose, and Christmas Baby, Please Come Home, Darling Love, second song by them. Symphony Number 9 in D minor by Ludwig van Beethoven, and Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy was in there too. So interesting mix.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think some of it I missed, but yeah, there was a lot.
That's more music than I can like mind boggle. But anyways, going into favorite scenes and favorite characters. So Boris, why don't you tell us what your favorite scene or scenes were and favorite character?
My favorite scene, well, as it tends to happen with me when I watch comedies, my favorite scenes are usually the spoodown scenes. So in this one, it would probably be the church scene, which I have already mentioned.
Oh, the baby demon.
Fuck me, Jesus in the ass. No, when he
But,
throws up and he's
yeah.
swearing.
Or was it when the white Messiah got crucified?
Oh, that too, yeah. The fight that ensued after that, that was another great spoodown.
I really did crucify Messiah.
Yeah. And my favorite character, it would probably have to be Isaac. The whole thing with his hallucinations and stuff, it was really hilarious.
Okay. What about you, Tammy? Favorite scene and or favorite characters?
Well, my favorite character is Mr. Green. I just, I like whatever happens when they get around Mr. Green. So I guess my favorite scenes are when they get with Mr. Green, and then they smoke some with him, and he makes them remember, makes them think about things. It's just I like him, and those are basically my favorite scenes for the most part. Um, um,
Okay, who's doing cocaine?
I got a stuffed nose, thank you.
I don't know if there was really any other favorite scenes besides that, because my favorite character and my favorite scenes kind of like go together.
Ooh,
So
that makes sense.
Okay, what about you, Crow?
Well, as far as favorite characters go, I have to agree with Boris. He's just absolutely hilarious. I love the other two, but he definitely carries the comedy. You know, uh, as far as favorite scene, I love when Mackie's banging that chick in the bathroom. That's pretty funny. Um, then him with the nativity scene, and then the ensuing church scene, and then the Messiah thing, and the thing with his wife being a dragon, and then flipping out about his baby needs to die, and you need to get rid of it, throw it in a dumpster. The whole part, like you get everything with him, and it was great. But I have to agree that close up is probably Mr. Green, because yeah, his scenes were great. I mean, he was definitely this creepy older guy, but he seemed like he's coming from a nice place, but he's definitely creepy too. He's like, oh, I think of you all as my children. Am I like a father figure to you? Not really. It's just kind of creepy, but after you see the whole movie, you kind of see how everything comes together and how he really was like a father or a guardian angel looking over them. Um, as it may be. So he even leads the car for them, and he tries to get them to the party, which it was his party, and so everything he's done is to help them, and he's watching over them and watching over other people. At first you just don't really know what to think of him. He's just this weird fucking drug dealer, which as I've met a few, a lot of them are. But yeah, he turns out he's an angel. That's a weird drug dealer. So yeah, he's definitely a great character. The movie would not be the same without him. So I'd have to say he's definitely a runner-up as a favorite character. And those scenes that I mentioned were absolutely great. And of course, the blow up on the train was kind of cool too, even though it was a bad moment. You know it was gonna happen. You know it was gonna happen because Mackie kept saying he's gonna say something to him, and he was saying he's gonna say something to Mackie about his issues, and and they're like, and so the blow was gonna happen, and it happened, and it was kind of funny the way they did it. It was kind of not funny, but he takes the sweater off. He's like, "Don't you dare take that! Don't you take that off! I'm taking it off! Don't you dare take it off!" So, and he takes it off and ends up wearing it around his waist. But yeah, it was definitely funny. It was definitely enjoyable. What about you, Dave?
Um, favorite character obviously is Mr. Green. But I do like Seth Rogen in here. He is comical throughout. I do, as far as favorite scenes, when Mr. Green turns into the angel, uh, when Seth Rogen's getting dick pictures, we later learn it's
Oh yeah,
Congo. Uh, when Seth is actually talking to Joseph, and it's not the first time he actually talks to a Joseph.
No, I think he was talking to one of the wise men.
Yeah,
I
but,
also
but in
thought
the
it was
limousine,
Joseph.
he actually refers to Ethan as Joseph, when in fact he is Joseph. Gordon-Levitt. So
Oh, does he?
yeah. But yeah, I enjoy a lot of scenes. I enjoy Joseph Gordon-Levitt's elf smile. I mean, it's kind of and the fact that the two are joking about fucking her parents, like as she's
Doing
bringing
Yeah.
them
it.
into to the home, and
Yeah,
it's
that was
supposed to
hilarious.
be like a romantic moment and shit.
You don't do
Yeah,
parents. Well, I'll do your parents.
that was hilarious.
Well, fine. Why don't you come in so that you can
Do my parents.
Yeah, wouldn't it make more sense if he first did her parents and then came?
Ew.
Sorry.
She did say that don't fuck with her dad because he's kind of old and his knees are.
Don't fuck him doggy style because he's old.
But in any case, I think it was a cute movie. I mean, it was decent all around. So I enjoyed it, and honestly, some humor can be crass when it comes to um, movies like this. This one was not as crass as it could have been. You
I
know,
love how they always have James Franco in popping in these special roles as something like in the End of the World one and other things. You know, he's just he pops in there, and Channing Tatum pops in a lot of movies too. Surprised he wasn't in there on this one.
of course, a
Somewhere.
great double feature with Seth Rogen is if you watch this one and then you watch This Is the End right
That was
afterwards.
the one I was talking about.
Yeah,
The end is just fucking great.
yeah. I was reminded of that one too.
Yeah, that movie is. I love what Channing Tatum is like. He's like a dog on a leash, and he's like the slave boy.
Yeah, or like that movie had a similar sense of humor and the
Seth
age
Rogen.
of stuff and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember that line. Welcome to heaven, motherfuckers.
Neighbors 1 and 2 were also really fucking great.
and hey, when a devil has a big ass penis, that is fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, yeah, the seven-headed dragon. Yeah.
But in any case, so I think that's pretty much it. At least on this film. So hopefully, you guys have enjoyed our discussion on this film, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of our holiday um, films that we'll be discussing on either channel. This is Delusions of Grandeur, and hopefully y'all pick some holiday films that are coming up. Who's
If
next?
if not, please pick some Seth Rogen movies because they're hilarious. Like Zach and Marie Make a Porno. Love that movie.
I haven't even seen it.
Oh, you gotta watch it, dude. It's hilarious. They make Star Wars.
What?
I guess
two
it's something
friends
that's not,
two friends decide to make a porno movie named Star Wars and stuff, and yeah, it's a
Interesting.
romantic comedy.
Alrighty. So everyone just check out this film. Let us know down in the comments what you thought, whether we were wrong or right, and hopefully we'll be on next week, same time, same channel, with something cool. Whose turn is it next, anyways?
Yours.
Okay, so I'll have to. I think I've got it, but I'll.
Better be Christmas related, not boxing.
Aha! But in any case, let us say a good night to the good folks out there, and like, share, and subscribe, and hopefully you'll follow along with us next week. So everyone, say good night.
Good night.
Good night, Gracie.